Alexis, the reward has increased for information about the vandalism of a memorial to a fallen Bardstown police officer. Jason Ellis was gunned down 9 years ago when he stopped to remove debris blocking exit 34 on the Bluegrass Parkway. The Nelson County Sheriff says someone damaged a metal memorial flag at that site sometime between October 9th and the 13th. The nonprofit Kentucky Cops added $500 to bring the reward to $1,500.
New at 6, DNA has identified the remains of a Louisville man who disappeared almost 2 decades ago. Skeletal remains were found by a turkey hunter in Monroe County, Indiana in May of 2004. The private firm helped the sheriff's office collect DNA samples to identify Stephen Gabbard. The 38-year-old was in the Indianapolis area when he went missing. Police believe foul play was involved.
Another lawsuit is filed against a Jeffersonville funeral home over its handling of remains. According to the lawsuit in Jefferson Circuit Court, Iricho Vance paid Langford Funeral Home and Family Center to handle his mother's funeral. Officers recovered 31 bodies, 17 cremated remains at the funeral center in July. Vance does not know if his mother was among those found. Several other families have also filed lawsuits against the owner, Randy Langford, who is also facing criminal charges.
A Louisville police officer has quit after admitting to sharing nude pictures of a woman. Harry Cedars pled guilty last week to a misdemeanor charge. He texted pictures of the woman to 19 people without her permission. As part of the plea deal, he had to forfeit his law enforcement certification. Prosecutors also dismissed unrelated domestic violence assault charges against him. Cedars shot and killed a man during a traffic stop in November of 2020. He's still being investigated for that incident by Kentucky State Police.
One person was killed in a shooting this morning at a Jeffersonville apartment complex.
WLKY's Madeline Carter is live at the scene right now with what we know at this point. Madeline?
Yeah, Rick and Vicki, I've been here for about 7 hours now, but a lot of questions are still unanswered in this investigation. Here's what we know so far. One person is dead after a shooting here at the Hallmark at Jeffersonville Apartments. Jeffersonville police say it happened just before 10:30 this morning on Paddle Wheel Court. That's where they found one victim who was shot and killed. WLKY Chopper HD flew over the scene earlier today and captured at least 20 evidence and shell casing markings on the ground. We spoke with a neighbor who lives across the street and watched the investigation unfold.
This used to be a safe neighborhood, and what's going on around here, and how come someone could go through this at 10 a.m. I don't want to live in this type of fear. I don't want to live in a place that every day might something happen different.
Now, I saw at least one car getting towed with a bullet hole in the side of it, but police haven't released any details about the victim or the suspect. Family and friends of the person who died gathered here earlier, many of them devastated when they heard the news. As soon as we get more information, we will be sure to update you. But for now, live in Jeffersonville, Madeline Carter, WLKY News.
Thanks, Madeline. Louisville police are looking for suspects in a late-night shooting in the Parkland neighborhood. Officers found a man just before 11:30 Sunday night on South 26th Street near Johnson TMS. He was taken to University Hospital. At last report, he was in critical condition. If you have any information about the shooting, call the anonymous tip line 574-LMPD.
The coroner identifies a Louisville man hit by a car over the weekend. 35-year-old Alan Green was killed early Saturday morning while walking along Preston Highway near the fairgrounds. He died at the scene. The driver did stop. At this point, no charges have been filed.
New tonight at 6, a Jefferson County judge dismisses a lawsuit filed by the parents of a Butler High School student killed in a car crash. Police say Michael DeWitt was on drugs and alcohol, driving a stolen truck the wrong way on Dixie Highway in March of last year when he hit another car head-on. 17-year-old Madeline Trout was killed. DeWitt has been released from jail just 2 weeks earlier. The lawsuit claimed the Bail Project failed to investigate his extensive criminal history. But in her ruling, Judge Ann Bailey Smith said the nonprofit had no control whatsoever over his conduct after posting his bond and could not have legally prevented him from driving. DeWitt is facing murder and other charges. He's scheduled to be back in court in December.
A grand jury indicts a former Kentucky state lawmaker and cabinet official for rape. John Tilley was arrested in August by Lexington police. Detectives say he had sex with a woman at the Lexington Marriott City Center. According to arrest records, the woman was too intoxicated to give her consent. Tilley spent a decade in the State House before serving as the Secretary of the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet in the Bevin administration. During that time, he helped reduce the state's backlog of untested rape kits. He's scheduled to appear in court next week.
A Louisville Democrat says she's running for another public office, county clerk, to push back against what she says are election lies and voter suppression efforts. Tina Ward Pugh served on Louisville's Board of Aldermen and then on the Metro Council after merger. Republican incumbent Bobby Holzclaw was first elected Jefferson County Clerk in 1998. The office oversees county polling locations.
I'm concerned that we don't have a county clerk who cares about expanding access to those elections, and the more people, that promote that and that we don't push back on, the more people believe it's true.
I don't allow politics in this office. I don't think when you go to register your car, you care if it's a Democrat or a Republican sitting there waiting on you. I don't look at anybody's party affiliation when they're hired.
The Jefferson County Clerk also oversees legal records such as marriage licenses and vehicle tags.
Indiana's Lieutenant Governor has tested positive for COVID-19. Suzanne Crouch had to cancel a visit to Jeffersonville tomorrow. She planned to visit a facility that provides mental health services. The 70-year-old is vaccinated and boosted. Her office says that she has mild symptoms and is working from her home in Evansville.
Helping families in Florida rebuild after Hurricane Ian. Our Red Cross phone bank is ready to take your calls, or you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen. How your generosity will make a difference. That's just ahead on the news at 6.
And chilly conditions out there on this Monday late afternoon, early evening. We've been talking about this blast of autumn cool air to be moving in. Well, it has arrived. Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up to temperatures right around that 32-degree mark in a few spots, maybe a little bit warmer than that in others. We'll talk about how long the chill is going to stick around in your backyard. That's coming up next.
Right now, This is WLKY News at 6.
State leaders are urging Kentuckians to speak out and take a stand against domestic violence.
This morning in Frankfort, Governor Beshear signed a proclamation to make October Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The head of one nonprofit says domestic violence comes in many forms.
It can be verbal, emotional, mental abuse day in and day out. And that's pretty much the experience of most survivors. A lot of confusion, a lot of jealousy, possessiveness, name calling, put down, degradations, arguments over little things.
The governor estimates 45% of women and 35% of men have reported some kind of abuse in a relationship.
Some JCPS students had an important lesson on how to stop bullying. 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders at Bick Elementary were invited to school's gym this morning to hear from Jalen Arnold. The 22-year-old experienced a life bullying after being diagnosed at the age of 8 with Tourette's syndrome, Asperger's syndrome, and OCD. He now travels to schools across the country to share his story. He hopes it inspires kids to stop bullying if they ever see it.
Sometimes it can get like serious where the kid can either like hurting herself or hurting himself. Now I know that bullying is not good, and if you get bullied, just tell the teacher.
According to JCPS, roughly 1 in 4 students in the district